one of the questions I definitely wanted to ask you is, because everyone knows that mother, father, sister, brother, cousin that knows how to do taxes. Yes. Usually that's that person, me. So no. I'm joking.
But seriously.
Right?
But seriously.
And they end up going to these people, getting their taxes done for like maybe $20, $50.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. The voice you're listening to now is Big Mama Amma, regular co-host of this here radio show. Nate is on his way, but you know how life happens. So sometimes things get in your way. The other day after 5 o'clock, nothing went the way I wanted it to. And I ended up being several hours late for something very important. So, sometimes you just roll with the punches. I worked at an elementary school for a year, and a person I met, one of my favorite people, always will be. I don't know that I'll ever see her again, but she gave me one of my favorite idioms, which is "Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape." So I have carried that with me, and although I am normally kind of a low-key, laid-back individual, I let things go quickly. From time to time, it can be, anyway, it's being good for you anyway. So this wonderful day, September 10th, right? That's what today is, right? September 10th. We will be joined in the studio by Mr. Lamar Reddick. He is a hip hop artist and a street evangelist. Very nice gentleman will be joining us in a little bit, and we'll be talking to him talking about me, myself, and I. So you know how Nate is. He gives us a topic, and then he kind of gives us his guide on what he had been thinking about. I know for me, that definitely has some heavy weight, because I definitely have been trying to focus on things that are important to me lately. So, every now and then you have to focus on self. That's what I get. I don't know. We'll see where Nate takes us. So what are you out there doing this here Saturday? You can join this conversation if you want to. There is the phone number, 410-702-5657. Or you can text in your opinion on our text-in line, which is 443-642-9403. So make sure you join the conversation. We'll be talking today. We always love it when you join us. Couple of announcements. In a week, we'll be doing our Be Exposed open house. If you want to come down and see what it is we do, where we do it, how we do it, you can meet us at 110 East Lexington Street, and we will be glad to show you. We will feed you. There'll be foods here. Foods, vittles, things to munch on, things to drink. Sometimes alcohol, always juice, always water. And we'll be, we love our water here. We love it. And we'll be interviewing those of you who come down, let you get on air a little bit, talk to the people, share what it is that you do, what it is that you have coming up. If you are a business, if you have a product that you're selling or a show you're promoting, if you are a member of the media, we are definitely inviting everyone down. We'd like to build a network of individuals that are dedicated to making Baltimore's best, giving Baltimore's best a platform to reach those that are looking for them. We have that scared me a little bit. I wasn't expecting the door to suddenly snap shut. So it is our 2-year anniversary. And we are very excited about that. I was trying to wait till Nate got here to bring that up, but there it is. So we'll talk a little bit more about what we'll be doing to celebrate when Nate gets here. So I definitely could go out to eat after this. I got a little oh, that's fun. So we are celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the Artist Exchange all month long. So every day is our birthday here. All right, then. I'm very excited about that, guys. So I'm guessing Nate got all, how Nate is. He likes to make a big deal of things that he likes. So I'm sure there's some sort of party or something like that in the mix. We'll see what he's up to. I'm sure he's got a few thoughts, a few creative ideas he's brewing. I have to admit, I have not been as involved. I've got the a work in progress. Readers Theater is going to have its first show. If you follow me on Instagram at Big Mama Ama, then you'll see we have our Jumping Ship, which will be read on September 25th at UB Blake. And I've also been in rehearsals for Radio Golf, August Wilson's Radio Golf at Arena Players. So I've been very, very consumed by things and stuff to do. So Nate has had a break from me and my my personality. I'm sure he's enjoyed it somewhat. So we are touch a little bit on some hot topics. Give me a second. I had some things that I saved on my Facebooks for arrival here today. Yes. So give me a moment to find my things that I'm commenting on. I'm a brown. Sorry. Okay. So this is very much not about it's not really about art, but it is what it is. I have something on my heart I'd like to share. So the Dakota Access Pipeline was stopped by the Obama administration after Army reserves are called in. So I find that very interesting. I think that for those of you who don't know, they're trying to put an oil pipeline through a Indian reservation, and according to constitutional law, according to the law, that land is their land. It's sacred land. We're not supposed to. The government is not supposed to be there telling them what to or not to do with it. So having oil run right through where they get their drinking water from, and right through where they have their burial ground seems really, really disappointing. So that's kind of what's happening. They're trying to fight it. They got apparently Obama has sent in the Army reserves to pause. So looks like rapid series of changes in the pipeline status Friday. Both sides in a state of confusion.
Your mic's up, not in your forehead.
Sorry. Sorry, a rapid series of changes to the pipeline status Friday left both sides in a state of confusion. We have still not received comment from the Standing Rock property owner about the government intervention. So the tribe had requested an injunction to stop the Dallas-based energy company, the Dallas-based energy company from building a $3.8 billion oil pipeline. The thing that bothers me the most about this story in particular is because we already have another means of generating large amounts of power. We know we can run cars on electricity. We know that most homes can run on electricity or on natural gas. We don't need oil. We have these large vehicles that we've figured out how to power even large vehicles without the need of combustion. We don't need fossil fuels anymore, and they are part of the reason why there is a global warming effect. So they're part of the problem, and yet there hasn't been a major move to change the way that we relate to the use of fossil fuels. It's still really small talk, and it should be big talk. It is definitely the number one contributor to global warming, which we have all felt the effects of recently. Because if you guys remember, in the middle of December, there was 70-degree weather last time, and looks like it might not be quite that warm this year, but we definitely will be warm for winter. And, winter lasted much longer than we thought, well into May. So things are changing, and we have to pay attention to the change. And this is part of paying attention to the change. So we'll be going to break very shortly. When we come back, we will hopefully be joined by Nate, and we will be begin our interview with Mr. Reddick. Don't forget, you can join the conversation dialing 410-702-5657 or texting 443-642-9403. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Well, we'll be back when my engineer comes back to take us to commercial. There's a lot going on all of a sudden, guys. No, we're going to a break. Yeah, I was just trying to, I realized he wasn't sitting there. All right, so we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
Well, you have a lot of people retiring early. It's funny, a lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Shaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that change on their own now because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
right?
Stuff that's been happening is not the now, it's the effects later, because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and some are committed suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys a game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run to the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitudes I had.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything.
Right.
And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew, you got to be in the bed by this time. You do it for years and years, and all of a sudden, bam, it's done. So what do you do?
Right.
So just like in a military to have with PTSD. We have that because we so used to having a certain way. And I remember watching this Brian Gumbel on HBO, was like years ago, and a guy would act like he was getting dressed, a real good football player, would walk his daughter to the bus stop, and he would come back in the house, close the curtains, and just sit there because he didn't know how else to handle himself. Because he was so used to being told what to do because our schedule are laid out. By this time, you got to do this. By this time, you got to do this. Eat at this time, back on the field. So,
hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live. Here, live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician. This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really? He had no idea just how many. I can't believe it. This one looks good. Peter's thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner? See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can we tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, Reddick.
Yes, Mom.
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs.
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't forget, for the month of September, we'll be celebrating our first 2 years here on Be Exposed Radio. So we'll be bringing back some special guests and having some special guests like we have right here before me, Mr. Lamar Reddick. I said it right. I was practicing that.
Mm-hmm.
So joining us in the studio right now is me, your host, my co-host Alma, Big Mama Alma.
What's up?
And then we have Mr. Lamar Reddick.
What's going
in
on?
the building. And the camera lady.
It's my beautiful wife.
Wife is always supportive. Great communicator also. She's very firm and very gets it done. Great person on your team. But Miss Lamar has traveled up here from West Virginia to join us here today on the Artist Exchange. I really appreciate it. So I'll jump right into it. Who is Lamar? Outside of the talent, outside of the image, who is Lamar?
Okay. Lamar Reddick is just a man, you know. I'm nothing more than that. I'm just a man, and a man who does music, a man that loves Jesus, a man that cares about people, a man that believes in opportunity and basically changing the culture that I'm in. So if I had to sum it up, that's who I am.
A man who's making me jealous right now because I can't wear cologne when it's hot, and this jupe is making me.
Shout out to the jupe.
Right? Only one I wear. But and reading about you and listening to your music, I get a sense of a real solid foundation. Has that always been the story, or was this something you backed into or ran into?
Well, when it comes to a solid foundation, I have a lot of people to thank for that. You know, I'd be crazy to put myself on a platform. But basically, I had a strong mom. You know, my mom's watching now. I love you, Mom. My dad, of course. Love you too, Dad. My Uncle Justin. You know, Mr. Jackson, Miss Fuller, Mr. Wells, Mr. Ore, and all these people have either touched me, you know, literally as far as a relationship or just their teachings positions. Band directors, drum instructors, Mr. Houston, Mr. Dina, and also coming from a place in North Carolina is where I was born, Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I was born there, and it was a small town. My dad was in Florida, my mom was in North Carolina. So with that foundation, my mom was a minister. She was always in the church. She always kept me rooted. I found, you know, Jesus when I was 12. So that was really the set of the foundation, because I've always had good parents, you know, even though they were separate. My dad is never slacked on me discipline. He's always taught me to respect. He always taught me to never give up, always to be firm in what I believe in and go for it and be the best at it. My mom has taught me how to love, you know, really how to understand people. My Uncle Justin has taught me to be a man of God. So, and all those other people I named, they've taught me to be the musician that I am. So that's it in a nutshell.
That's
my
a
foundation.
lot of character building.
Yes.
Getting from that young of an age is very necessary for development. Right, it's very necessary for development. I think a lot of people who aren't parents or like uncles and aunts, they forget that they are involved in that process as well, and they're just as important, because once you leave home, you subconsciously take a lot of those things with you outside of like how I wash my laundry and how I cook this chicken casserole or whatever. But the things that were said to you are the things that,
Yeah,
that you normally
you
keep
remember.
hold to. Because when you fall short, those are the things that you have to help you get back up.
It's also good to keep in touch with the siblings of your parents because they help you keep things in perspective when dealing with your parents. Because the older you get, the more, all right, listen. Okay, listen.
You get the balance.
Yes, you get somebody who can see your parent from a different perspective and help you deal with things.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned like band. So music has always been a part of who you are.
Yes.
So how did you decide that you were going to be? I don't want to label you as a Christian artist, but how did you know that music in general was what you wanted to pursue, opposed to it just being an activity?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just something that was put in me. Attest to this. I used to always listen to Fred Hammond. You know, like No Weapon and you know, Dance Like David Dance and all those songs like that. I used to just grab drumsticks and play on pots. You know, I just loved the drums. That's where it started. I love the drums. But since I grew up in a small town, I never had really people to teach me. And in the churches I went to, they wouldn't let the kids on the drum sets. You know, it was like frowned upon. Like, you do not get on a drum set. So that was kind of,
because it wasn't a toy.
Yes.
Right. Look at it as a toy.
You know, so so I had to find another way to kind of release that. So once I got to middle school, you know, I suffered some bullying, mild bullying, nothing really too serious, but it's just like, you know, I think every middle schooler can attest that.
I think it's just middle school.
Middle school is
12-year-olds.
That is a demon.
You don't know how to joke.
12-year-olds are the worst.
That is like, I don't know, man. That's like Demon County, man. It's like everybody just like transforming to something else. But
testosterone and estrogen.
It's hormones, man. They do stuff to you. Hormones will do stuff to you.
So suffering from that, you know, I had a lot of build up tension inside.
Right.
I was like, man, I have to find a way positively to release this. So I started writing. You know, it started off with poems. It started off with singing. I always sing too.
So we got a voice?
A little something. Hey, don't be comparing me to Chris Brown and stuff. I look ashamed, but you know, I can hold a note. But you know, it started with just expression through music. And once I hit high school, it kind of started developing into a craft. So that's kind of where it, you know, started from.
So middle school is what blossomed that or introduced you to music as far as being a part of it. Was the band were you that kid that was always in the band room or?
Yes, I was. Ever since I think I seen a parade when I was young, and I seen the quint drum, and I was in love with those. I figured out later.
The South, so that's a part of bands are part of the
culture,
fabric, right?
Yeah. So so after that point, I mean, I signed up for band since 6th grade. I was playing the trumpet, and then 7th grade, I think. What was I? 7th grade. I think I was still playing 7th grade, and then 8th grade I didn't play because I switched schools, different state. And from that point on, I was always in the drum line. I was always a percussionist all the way through college. So
you play other instruments as
yes.
well? Okay.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of music
yes.
in your music.
Yes.
So that's probably where that comes from. It's not just beats.
Right.
That we're listening to. How important is the instrument to your music? Or is it just, you know?
When you say instrument, you mean just the production of the music itself, how important that is as far as arranging?
Right. Not just the words, but the whole arrangement.
Well, I think we can all say that music plays an important part of conveying an emotion. Right. When you watch a movie, you know, when you watch a scary movie, you have those orchestra hits when you know somebody's gonna pop out, or you'll have a violin when you know things get a little bit more somber, or you know a little bit more saddened, or you'll have a lot of percussion come in when it's an adventurous movie, you know, like The Jungle Book. You'll hear a lot of drums and African, you know, so that every instrument has a texture and a way to convey an emotion. So I think if you can get a grip of that, being an artist, that helps because it's less pressure on you. Because now I don't have to try so hard to convey some type of emotion when I have an ensemble behind me helping with that. So, and
do you write music as well?
Right, as far as like, you know, music notes and notations. No, I don't. I've drifted away from that. I never had like a lot of deep training on composing music. I can write rhythms. So I'm more good at just rhythms. And I mean, I guess rhythm is music, but just a lot of different melodic instruments. I don't really touch on that.
That's a whole other skill set. Is that something that you eventually move into? Because that's where the residuals come in at. That's the person that gets paid the residual checks.
They get it. Yes, they do get a lot, but I also believe in perfecting something. You know, I think it's good to know a lot about a lot, but it's also good to perfect one thing.
Right.
You know, I think I'm focusing more on my writing. Just lyrics are very important because
that's a top payer right there.
you know, because I think every team, in order to fly, you got to trust your wings. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you just look for people who specialize in those things, even if they make more money than you, I'm not in it for the money. You know what I'm saying? Money is a part of it. But if you have people that are specialized in those areas, then your team, your production is going to be more effective than me trying to perfect everything, you know? But I think with the, the rhythm, notating and stuff like that, I can do. I used to write music for my drum line. Me and Jason, J Reels is what he goes by now. I hope he's watching. We used to write for our drum line our senior year when we didn't have any instructors. So I got a little background in that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
When you're putting together your second album.
Yes, currently.
Now. So where are you going? What direction are you going in? I know you want this to be a smooth transition, so you reach the masses, but concept-wise, what are you thinking about?
Well, recently I just kind of developed a motto for myself, which I previously stated earlier, is changing culture.
Right.
So everything from now on, in some type of way, is going to do that. Because I think music definitely has the power to do that. But I think if you focus on it, I think you can really see a big impact, because indirectly music changes the culture. But if you can focus on doing that when you're scripting, or when you're writing your music, and you can target certain problems of the culture, you're actually providing a remedy rather than an idea.
Right.
So I think that's where I am now, just focusing on different things that's going on, that will constantly go on, because I think the best music, it lasts, it keeps going, because not only because of the talent, executing it, but because of the message. You look at Marvin Gaye, what's going on, stuff like that. That's because those things are still going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at Michael Jackson's songs, Man in the Mirror, people have insecurities every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think it's just the talent or the production, but that message. If you can hone into something that is always going to be repeating itself.
Because anybody can sing it.
Anybody can sing it. Anybody can remember and apply it to their situation. So that's why I'm at in this process. Really want to create some music that people can, when you graduate college, you don't get that job, you don't get that beautiful wife or that beautiful car, those things. You have a song that I made that's going to help you through that situation. Like, look, don't worry about that.
You know what I'm saying? About India. Yes, this too shall pass. And she's got a couple of songs that are just hope. There's hope. Oh, yeah.
It's songs that when you're thinking about not so much trends, but you're thinking about, what do I want to say? So in you, what are those messages that you want to get across right now, aside from hardship or violence or the trending topics?
Right.
What are some of those things that you want to get out of you as message wise?
Out of me, I really want
your personal lessons.
Right.
Yeah.
How personal is it to you?
It's very personal for me. I think in my creative process, I'm always I tend to address problems and give a solution at the end. That's kind of standard, but I don't like to be a person that's a radical, and I don't like to be a person that sits back and does nothing. So for me,
you can see the issue in plain sense. You're not looking for no big answer or just to ignore it.
I think the big answer ultimately is Jesus, and that's what I want people to get, is the underlining message through everything that I do, but I want them to be able to listen. So a personal message through my music that I really want to deliver is that, look, we see all these problems, we see the violence, we see the racism, or we see the sexism, or we see human trafficking, so we see these things, right? But you will never change the actions of a man until you change the spirit first. that is the biggest thing I want to convey to people is like through my music, do you notice that these things are going to continue to happen? So let's not focus on the actual events, but let's focus on the root of it. And the root is the spirit. If you have a tainted spirit, from everything you do from that point is going to be tainted. You know what I'm saying? We're all tainted in some sort of fashion, you know? So it's almost like you grow a shrub and like the shrub is rotten. If you just keep cutting off the top, that's not going to change nothing. You have to dig down there. You have to dig deep and cut those roots and replant something. So I want my music to replant those issues and provide a solution with Jesus, you know, for all those issues. Because at the end of the day, none of this is going to change until those people find Jesus. You know what I'm saying? None of this stuff, you know, with Al Qaeda, you know what I'm saying, all this, you know, terrorist attacks is going to change until they're told about Jesus and they decide to conform to Jesus Christ. Because ultimate love was shown, you know what I'm saying, on that cross for us. And that changed me when I was 12. So if it changed me as a 12-year-old with barely of any understanding of this world, but I can understand the love of God, then I know it can change grown men, you know, with understanding
and I'm trying to find a way to say it without excluding anyone. There are a lot of people who don't believe.
Right.
There are a lot of people who believed at one time and felt that wrath of church hurt.
Yeah.
And realizing that everybody in the church, if not anybody in the church, is not perfect,
Right.
and they're not healed and they're not fixed.
Mhm.
And going to church does not fix you.
Right.
It just puts you in a communion with people who want the same thing that you want and are striving for that. And it's a continuous process. How will you attract, or how do you plan to minister to bodies of people who may not be where you're from, or
Right.
walk the same or have the same foundation that you had, without them feeling like, okay, if you hit me over my head again, I'm walking out.
Yes.
Like, how do you plan to execute that process of not so much switching people over, but just opening people up? But I'm gonna let you answer that question and more questions when we come back from this break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial.
That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a Dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talking about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already.
She's irrelevant.
I said it once.
Dash. So I couldn't have meant that more. She is so irrelevant. I'm not even gonna say her name. But we're here every Tuesday, and we talk about people just like that at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com.
sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? Like, true story. I was born into a family in a community of hustlers. Now let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artists or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition, and I'm paraphrasing, but the definition of hustle is a forced movement or to be hurried, right? But we're not talking about just pushing other people. Sometimes you got to push yourself, and that what makes you a hustler. True story. So the thing about it is, like, when it comes to hustling, listen, quick story. I used to go buy juleps a lot, right? And my grandmother used to make me clean the yard, shovel snow, do things like that to go get a julep. But one day she was like, look, you putting all your money in someone else's pocket.
Word.
Save those quarters, and I can teach you how to make a formula, and you can sell your own juleps. You understand? So the next couple weeks, I saved my money.
Always a hustler.
Listen,
got to love
but think
everybody
about
got
this.
a grandma story like that.
Grandmothers are the natural hustlers because they were the ones who maintained and sustained our families through epidemics. You're talking Big Mama went through slavery and held it. You're talking Big Mama went through the Depression and held it. Big Mama went through crack and held it.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate, here on this Saturday, brisk day. Today's topic is me, myself, and I. A couple years ago, I say about 2 years ago, and me coming into the radio show, my pastor told me it's time for you to take a selfish season. I always put myself in everybody else's line of work and helping others, and things kept on, the same thing kept happening. The same patterns kept happening, and I had to discover what I wanted. And I asked a lot of people that question: what is it that you want outside of being an artist? Because we normally are artists for the benefit of giving what we have to other people. But what do you want for yourself outside of all the labels, husband, son, all those things? And having that selfish season really helps you to develop yourself as a person. And then it builds up your artistry, it builds up your business sense, your profession, all those things that go along with being who you are. But have you had that season yet? Or are you in that season? Or
I don't
look forward to that season.
I don't, honestly, for me, I don't think that season will ever come for me. Just because the only reason why I've made it as far as I've made it is because God has humbled me.
Right.
So I would encourage anybody that's trying to grow to continue, even when you have to get things done, or you're trying to hone into your craft, is to always sacrifice time, because that doesn't go unnoticed. And one thing that I've learned, like being graduating college, there'll be times where I'm talking about, like, had to take some music theory tests. Randall Oliveira, my best friend in Florida, but we had to take some hard music tests, and the night before I'm talking about random people in the hall just saying, man, I need help studying for this math or this whatever type of test, geometry or whatever it was. And I wasn't in that class, but I was good at math. So I was like, why am I the only one that's hearing this? It's like other people here and there's nobody helping. And I would sacrifice my time the night before. I did studying before that, but and I would help that person 2-3 hours the night before my important exam, and I would dedicate time to teach them what they need to know for their test.
Right.
And in return of that, I would always be like, man, like, I only have like an hour to really study and get some good sleep. And I would go to my room and I would study, and everything would just become so clear. And I would always kill the test, always. And every time I had to do one of those, I end up sacrificing something every single time. So that taught me early. It's like, look, it's not about the amount of time you have or where you're spending it. It's about the effectiveness of how you use it. Right. So like now I'm married, I have a full-time job, but somehow I still have time to come to a radio station. And I never thought that would be possible. So I don't think, not to, just to be, generalize everything, but, I don't think there ever be a me season. I can't claim that.
And see, not to cut you off, but
yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. But and I find that in my journey to being a Christian, we look at being selfish as a negative thing. And that when my pastor first said that to me, that's the first thing that I thought. I was like, but I'm supposed to be here to help other people. My viewpoint and my perspective in taking that me time is so you can be better at what you are and what you're supposed to be. I can't give you if my cup is empty.
Right.
And me sacrificing time for other people, and even for the things in life that I really need to do and really want to do, you still need that time to go into your space, into your corner. And you and your wife may pray together, but there are moments where you have to get on your own knees and pray for the things that you need in your life and you want in life. So taking that me time, for me, it was a season because I was always looking through my eyes for other people. I never really focused on what I wanted for me outside of being an artist, outside of being a man for others. I had to focus in and rebuild my foundation. So a lot of people that I've spoken to, they have the same response that you have, because as a Christian, we got to be able to do everything. You can't. There's no room for error. There's no room for selfishness. There's no room for me, because your mission in life is to be for others, and that in that whole scheme of things. But I added that as a topic today because in being a Christian-inspired artist, you find yourself giving a lot. And how do you replenish all that you've given out?
Well, I think, I ain't trying to take this thing spiritual, but I mean, I can only be genuine of, the truth. And the truth is, the way I replenish, man, is just really spending time in my word, spending time with the Lord. So it's not necessarily, you see what I'm saying? Even then, it's not even me time because I'm spending it with God. So, it's like I rejuvenate by getting in his word and, fellowshipping with my church and going to church and things like that, to be in a body of members till we rejuvenate together and we replenish together. So, because if I'm working out of my own flesh, out of my own will, then necessarily there will be a me time because I'm doing this thing out of my will. So I'm going to have some type of ownership over what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? But if I know that everything I'm doing is driven from a place of instruction or a guidance in some way of fashion from the Lord, then I know, like, okay, if the Lord's providing me the strength to do this, when I need that strength, I go to him for it. So it's almost a cycle of it's still going to someone else. Now, when you come to the actual tangible or the logical side of that, there's times, I agree. There is times where, I do take my days off, everybody days off, and I write, I write, I focus on my craft, but when it comes to an actual season, I can't say that I've had that. There's always breaks that everybody needs to recruit. But if you're not using it effectively, then you're gonna get burnt out. So, just for clarification on that question, I do agree with a me time when it comes to my craft. But outside of that, I'm still relying on the Lord's strength to do anything that I'm doing. So hopefully that's, thorough enough for you, in that way.
It's not, and for me, it wasn't a specific answer that I was looking for. It's just realizing we all have that time and that space that we sometimes need, and it doesn't take away for me. God is always there, and that spiritual body. So I don't ever look at it as I need to attach myself from even God, but just the idea of getting away from any other person.
Right.
And getting back to that. But we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
and at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline,
Yes, Mom.
I wanted to talk to you about something. Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow, busy me. So, anyway.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs.
Hey guys, turn on the video game. Wait, turn on what? Just like voice what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Because you have to build the craft. You have to do the work. You have to build your fan, because most record companies are no longer looking for someone they have to build anymore.
Right.
They're looking for the next.
Someone who's already got their fan base. Right.
It's somebody who's already generated that for themselves. Doing the actual work is what is needed. And being discovered, that quote unquote, that idea now being discovered is no longer being discovered. It's you being plucked because you have risen to the top of whatever field you find yourself in that moment. But there are a lot of artists that I've come across, and it's just aligning yourself with what you want and then going out there and get it. I can't keep saying I want to be an actor, but I don't go to any auditions.
Right.
You know, I'm not reading any monologues. I'm not reading any plays. I'm not, going out to see other theater.
Right.
I can't really say I want to be an actor if I'm just in my room.
Right.
Dreaming of being an actor.
Right. Talking to yourself in the mirror.
That gets you somewhere, because some people, that's where they start from. Just them yearning for something and not knowing how to get it. Now is the time where you gotta research, figure out where do actors be? What do they do? How do they, carry on their day-to-day life? And if it starts from that point, or I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna meet other people who do what I do, and then we will ride that rank together. So getting out there to me is kind of the most important part of doing it. You would say you wanted to work with J. Cole and KD, and what was the other young man? Lecrae.
Yeah.
Really, and Lecrae and KD are two, they're two, they were underground for a long time. And they did the work, they were doing the work. And some people, you'll say, well, I just thought you just came out. I just heard about your music. But they've been behind it for years, 2 or 3 decades. And people know who they are, but they just didn't have that success. A lot of the artists that we know to be awesome now, they've been grinding and just doing the work and doing dive bars and coming on the Artist Exchange and stuff like that, but they've been building as they've been going along.
Yeah.
Do you have any fear in what you want to be, or hesitation in what you want to be?
I think I wouldn't be honest if I did say that I didn't. I think everybody has fear. Forget what these superstars say. I always knew I was gonna. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because if you always knew, that means you never had a doubt. That means you never thought twice. That means you just always did things perfect. So that stuff. I think that's money talking. It's like, I always knew I was gonna be here. No, there's definitely a fear. I'm more afraid of not the fact that will it happen, will God do what he said he's going to do? But more of a fear, like once he says or he connects, how am I going to handle it? Am I going to be the same Lamar Reddick I am today as I am when I get on stages in front of tens of thousands of people? And that's what I really want to hone into. Am I still going to be, because it happened in Christian hip hop. It happened in regular things. Men get money. With money comes power. Power comes access. And that's not just to good things. Am I going to treat my wife the same? Am I still going to be the same faithful Lamar today to my wife, no matter how many fans of women are in front of me? And that's just being transparent. That's being real. And I know, the answer is just continue to do the things like my dad said. Continue to do the things that got you there, and you add on along the way to build off of that. But once you start taking away from the things that got you there, that's when you start to fall. And I hope you listen to that, because I do listen to you. So those are the things, and the things that's got me here that's been, very substantial, has been, just being the Lord, just being faithful to him and being trusting in him no matter what path of life you're on, because he brings consistency and stability to my life. I can't take credit for that. He brings stability to my marriage. When I'm mad at my wife, my wife's mad at me, he is the sole thing sometimes that brings us back to reconciliation. So that's my fear, is definitely changing once I get to that place where I want to be, or the temptation of change. So I'm just praying that the Lord keeps me grounded.
I hear a lot of people say things like higher heights will take you away from certain individuals. And I've always seen that as a choice. If I can't hang out with the same people that I was hanging out with, something happened to me. It wasn't you. It happened to me. Now, there are some people that are not supposed to go the long run with you, that are supposed to be there for the season and for the for that moment,
right,
or to get you to that transition. And you have to be very aware, so you're not just kicking people out. Oh, I make $1 million a year now. You have to go.
Kick rocks.
Exactly. I always say, if and when that moment is presented to me, like, I'm a person, I don't think I'll ever change my number. I'll never change. Some people, that's what they go through, because they have to. Your number begins to ring off the hook, but I just maintain that.
Yes.
Because you have, is a choice. I don't have to answer that at this moment. I can put it on silent, but we get offended because the phone is now ringing off the hook. Or as people, we attach ourselves to people that are doing better than us, opposed to keeping our circle around people who struggling like we're struggling, because I know who you are. And most times that person who's already made it, they've forgotten some of those steps. They've forgotten some of those hardships in getting to the place. It's great to have those people as mentors or people to look up to or aspire to, but you have to find people who are on your level, in your space, because you're chasing a dream that's unattainable, following Oprah. So Oprah is now the pinnacle of success. I have to find a way to be on her coattail. No, because she gonna make sure you're not on her coattail. But the person that's beside you, struggling with you, are always gonna find ways for you two to make it together. That person's already gotten to that level, so you're trying to catch up. That idea, I got mine, is now time to get yours.
Right.
So that's normally the mentality that you get when you get to that level. And you becoming an artist. What does being an artist mean to you?
Being an artist, I mean, if you look at any genre of anything you do, is being able to convey who you are through a piece of work. You look at Shakespeare, you look at Beethoven, you look at Mozart, you look at, Picasso, you look at, any different industry, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, they're good at things certain times, is because they're able to adapt to the person they're playing, embrace that character, and convey that to the listener or the viewer, and it makes you connect with it. So I think that's consistent throughout any art. When I read Shakespeare, or when I used to, I have Shakespeare books in my now. I don't, what I'm saying? When I read every day, I don't. But even God's word, even the Bible, you look at things. Even God is the perfect creator, and it's like everything. Some things you read in the Bible is like, I don't get this. But then there's other stories in there. It's like, man, I really feel that. So I feel like that's the same thing with any type of art, with my music. I know everybody's not gonna like every song on my album. I know. but everybody's different. You know, every song is different. So being an artist for me is being able to convey how I feel, and whoever listens to it, they feel that same emotion. Even if they can't relate to it, but they feel that same problem. They become a part of that issue for that song. So if I'm talking about, I have a song called Revive that hasn't been released yet. Let's talk about, you know, the police officer shootings, you know, in Minnesota, and the Baton Rouge shootings, you know, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. You know, those things, when I'm telling those stories, everybody that I've listened to it, you know, previously, they all say they feel the same thing that I intended them to feel. So I feel that's good artistry. I feel like that's good work. So being an artist to me is to be consistent with that. For people to see, first of all, see Jesus through me, and then also for them to feel the emotion, to understand what I was trying to say. One of my pet peeves that my wife understands, I always say, is that the biggest pet peeve for me is not being understood. So I definitely don't want that to be the case when I'm doing music.
As an artist, being understood does not mean I get what you're saying, right? Because your walk is your walk.
Yes.
So I'm coming from a totally different place.
Yes.
The things that you're talking about, my perspective, it changes the image of what your art is.
Exactly.
That as artists, we have to humble ourselves to that level, because not every person will get the same message,
right?
The same way, because there are a billion eyes looking at this one glass. And depending on what your perspective, if you're not thirsty, you're not looking at this glass with hunger in your eyes.
Right.
You know, for the person who's thirsty, it's like this drop of water in here is everything right now, and I want that. So everybody will always look at your art, whether they like it or not, from a different perspective, and we have to begin to train audience to be able to draw their own conclusion from our art and not feel like you don't get it. When I think of someone like Kanye, I believe he's stuck in that.
Yeah.
You don't get what I'm saying. I'm not supposed to. That's right. My journey.
Right.
And I think he'll become a better man, a better artist when he realizes it is my perspective that is important as a spectator. Whether I like what you do or not, I still can listen to your work and hear something. There are certain artists that I listen to across the board, and I love who they are, because despite when I remember T.T.Y.'s Alabaster Box, at the moment when I first heard the song, I didn't know what Alabaster Box meant. So it forced me to realize or learn what it meant. But it just listening to it, it just calmed me, but while pumping me up at the same time.
Yeah.
And you have to get from art what you feel from it. And we got 4 different people that sit in this room, and your song will mean something to all 4 of us differently.
Right.
Depending on where I'm coming from today.
Right.
Or in general, from day to day, art will change depending on where I'm coming from in that moment.
And also, you know, not to mean about him, but also with that, I completely agree. But I think, you know, also with good art or, you know, effective songs, there's something that it's like, okay, I may say, today's a sunny day. Some people may see the sun. Some people may see the clouds. Some people may see some may see the heat. Some may see a blue sky. But connecting all that together is that it looks good. You see what I'm saying? That it paints a picture some type of way. It may feel heat, but in a vivid aspect, what I'm trying to create is an atmosphere. So even though they may see it different, I've still created an atmosphere. So even if you on row 2 and you on row 558, you're still in that stadium. Because I think that's how art is too. It's like you have a central idea. It's like writing. You have a central theme that you're going for. As long as you can get that theme at the least, everything else is fine. You know, it's like, okay, you know, like we talk bars, you know, people talk bars, you know, what do you mean by that or what do you mean by this? That's fine. But how did you take the whole song? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you catch on to that? And if they don't, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm not a person to sit here and stop making music because, you know, oh, I thought you were talking about the other dude, but I was really talking about that dude. That's fine. But I think if I can at least get people or create an atmosphere around people when they hear each song, then I'm fine with that.
And what I hear from you is the message the overall message that you want to convey in your music. That is what you want people to take from it. I'm telling you, depending on where people are in life,
Yeah.
they're gonna not will take that
Yeah.
message. And it may be this song may not resonate with them until they're 25,
Exactly.
35, because they haven't gone through that experience where that song is a necessity.
Yeah.
So never expect for people to get it. Just put it out there as it is and hope that the general foundation of what you're doing is then transferred to the person that's listening. But everybody is on a different, it's like a church body. Everybody in that church is at a different stage.
And like, yeah.
People want us to come in and already know the hymn from the first day. But it took you 35, 40, 65 years to learn that hymn and what it really means outside of just getting the words right.
Yeah.
So everybody is on a different path and learning the quote unquote the words.
Right.
So some people just learn the words, but they don't have any meaning attached to it. Just no experience. But the moment, past me not really means something in my life, that's when we get it. So we're going to take another quick break. When we break back, this Lamar, Reddick, when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Style Lounge. For a personalized fashion experience, Style Lounge is where you should be. For clothing, jewelry, handbags, and accessories, contact us for pop-up shops, bidding opportunities, and more. Let us help you enhance your style. Let's discover your inner fashion ego. We are available for on-site and off-site consultations. For your appointment, call 443-248-8879. 15% off the business card.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention. Here's how it works. You click on the radio loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the radio loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
There's a rumor going around the Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler. Okay. So Oprah. Bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Oprah said, what is the problem? You said if I don't have your money, it was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. You may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these Thursday works.
Allegedly. I made this up. Right? I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the two were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, man. We can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn. Because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on have and have-nots to be like 5% shorter. Each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random play in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plays.
It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to keep this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and Have-Nots, and I continue to watch it in this 5th season, but I get so mad when I can go get myself a glass of water and come back and he had just started the next sentence in his first paragraph. I can't stand it.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
understand what they're going through. They're normally the most important. Yeah, because they do have to do it. Yeah. And I believe once someone, and I keep saying Kanye, once he gets that, I can just be me for me. Yeah. If you like it, great. If not, okay. Yeah. You know, and it's not a trending thing. It's not something that is stuck in a trend. And people like things in general because this is hot right now and this is not. But some of the things like you was mentioning, Marvin Gaye, you can put it on Let's Get It On, or one of his other anthems, and people vibe to it no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, because it was just good.
Yes.
And we don't know whether he was working to bring a response from the ladies in the crowd, or we don't know what that was, but it's timeless now. Yeah. You know, Nina Simone's music was very controversial at the time because she was a woman who she was not considered the most beautiful woman in the world, and what she was saying did not match the talent that she supposedly had. You're a classically trained person. Why are you thinking about such things as lynching and stuff like that? You need to be on this path. And a lot of people were saying that stuff because they wanted her to make it in terms of
Toni Morrison, you see the same kind of critiques. You write too well to be writing about Black issues.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
the reason for me too.
Right, to tell our stories, because nobody else is who is good at storytelling according to your standards. Although, Tony, you definitely are on my standards. Awesome. So, you know, I'm just saying.
So, and speaking of people who we like,
Mhm.
who are those artists? You named 3 already, but who are some of those artists that inspire you to do what you do?
Okay.
Whether they're singers or rappers or not.
Well, I would say definitely KB. He's a Christian hip hop artist. He's from Tampa, Florida. And I grew up a lot of my life in Florida. So to hear somebody doing something so impactful, that's close to home, you know, it kind of gave me inspiration. Like, man, he's just down the street. You know what I'm saying? He has a talent. He honed into it. You know, he's in the same area. Now, we may not have the same resources, or maybe not even the same type of talent, or, you know, the same audience. But it's just the fact that he's so close to home, and I can relate to a lot of the things he talks about. It really encourages me. J. Cole, you know, I don't like the vulgar he used. I'll put that out there. But I do respect his artwork, you know, the way he delivers his messages, the production behind his words and things like that. So it's just like the overall package of what he has, and he's very transparent, you know, like he doesn't dress up a lot. You know, that's kind of how I am, you know, I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't care how I look really, you know. So like him, Lecrae, just because he's been like a pioneer for everything that I've probably ever heard, you know, as far as hip hop. And I'll say, you know, there's other artists. I don't really hone into too many people, but I'd say those 3 definitely. More recently, Andy Mineo, he's been great. You know, he's been really great. But those 3, J. Cole, KB, and Lecrae, have really inspired me to keep going. You know, they all came from different walks of life, but they are all genuine to their character, who they are, and they are all effective at what they do. So those are people. Me? Take a guess.
I want to say like 23 to like 26.
Okay. I'm 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that. I understand now. Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
And you probably hear that a lot, but you'll get it soon.
Yeah.
Things start to reveal itself in the form of experience. Everything we've been taught has been taught to prepare us and not to prevent us. In most cases, even though it's normally the other way around, they're giving it to us to prevent us. But what it does is actually prepare us for what is to come. And not in necessarily a negative way, but just in life, you'll be prepared with the foundation that you've got. It doesn't prevent you from falling. It shows you how to get up.
Right.
It shows you how to make that fall look graceful. Get up, look awesome. But I don't think you'll ever have an issue with getting back up from what I'm hearing from you. One of the things that I do, sometimes you get in a creative funk and not so much that you don't want to create, but it's just not coming out. So you up 8 o'clock in the morning or at midnight trying to perfect the song. And sometimes I have to do things that totally take me away from what I'm doing. So I'll either go to like a museum and look at these dusty relics, or I'll take a crazy walk through my neighborhood, or just do something crazy. Go get French fries from a restaurant I've never eaten French fries and just people watch. What are those things that you do to get back, or to just put yourself in a creative mindset?
I've always just hit it on the head. I've never really been a person to go out and try to find inspiration.
Uh-huh.
A lot of my songs are written, just sitting on my bed. Just being honest, allowing opportunities to just kind of come to me. And I just know, for me, it's hard for me to work when I'm frustrated. So I think patience is a big thing with me. It's like, hey, I'm very goal oriented. So it's like, okay, I need to get this done. I want to do this song this week, but sometimes that's not how you get the best product. Sometimes you gotta use the oven and not the microwave. So I just be patient with myself. I learned to be patient with myself. It's like, okay, I only got 4 lines a day, and that's all I got. But they go hard. So do I really want to keep going and write down trash, or do I just want to wait to get those diamonds? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I do to get out of that funk, is just be patient and wait.
What has being an artist taught you about yourself personally?
I'm a perfectionist. That's.
Did you know that, or was that a shock to you?
No, it wasn't. My dad is kind of that way. Yes, you are dad. But it's been good. It has very good effects and it has very bad effects, because being a perfectionist sometimes can close your mind. Because you're just targeting to one goal rather than seeing.
People would never admit that.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that it does.
Yeah.
It's actually more closed-minded.
Yeah, it definitely creates closed-mindedness, but I think also the good effects is it helps you to accomplish a goal. Like you're not easy to give up. You're not easy to submit to to settle. You want to go for what you got, and if you're confident in it, you're going 100%. Even if it's straight off the cliff, you're going off that cliff with a smile. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's a good and bad thing too. But
you need that as an artist, because if you're not willing to jump off a bridge a few times, if not every other year of your life, you might as well just call it a hobby.
But being a perfectionist comes from music. I think more than my dad or anybody else, because ever since high school, ever since college, all of my professors, that's why they're so great. They've always wanted perfection. They want you to get that craft. They want you to perfect it, because they know that when you get out in the world, you're competing against the world. So, and the rest of the world is not settling for anything less than perfection. So I think that is one of my greatest strengths and kryptonite of being an artist, and just trying to do perfection, because some of the most magical work has a lot of imperfections. A lot of art that you see, a lot of times the artist didn't finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, a lot of pieces, Beethoven and Mozart, some pieces they had that, weren't finished. And don't quote me on it because I can't remember the names, but I did study music in college, and, we had a lot of lessons and lectures about it. But a lot of things, were incomplete. Right. And it's just like, man, he didn't finish. That's all the chain. So I think, being married, that's a great blessing too, because my wife is very broad-minded. She has a very open mind about things. Sometimes we clash in those ways, because I want to go, and she likes to take different avenues, but it helps me.
Baltimore to do the artist.
So it's
thank you, Mike.
So it helps me to keep an open mind. So that's the great thing. So that's kind of me as an artist of what I struggle with.
And you said along with being closed-minded, I'm not calling you closed-minded,
right,
but sometimes being that perfectionist, you don't really see. You have those blinders on.
Yeah.
Because that is what I want. The goal is right there.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next question. Are you the person who sees the finish line, or are you the person that can see the road? Or is it kind of a mixture?
I'm one of the
hold on, but we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll be playing another one of your songs as well. We're going to surprise you.
Okay.
I'm going to be surprised.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that.
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest, the trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Jan! Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Right.
You just gotta do it. And it may not be perfect, it may not sound perfect, but you still have to get through it. And the question that I was asking you, welcome back to the Artist Exchange. We have Mr. Lamar Reddick joining us.
What's up?
Hip hop artist.
Yes.
You label yourself as that. Why not as just a Christian artist or a gospel rapper or a rapper for Jesus? Just a
Christian Crusader. Let me see. I think the reason why I did that, one thing that I've learned is titles can scare away people. Perfect example, president at Bethune-Cookman University. You hear the word president, you get some type of picture. It may be a different perspective, but you know that's a man of power and a man got some authority. So it can be intimidating, right? But I met the president, Edison O. Jackson. He was like the coolest person I ever met on the university. And the thing is, though, he didn't walk around saying, I'm president of Bethune-Cookman University. No, he said, I'm Dr. Jackson, or, my name is such and such. And then other people will announce for him what he is or what their perception is of his title, because what it did, it created an atmosphere for people to approach him. He would be involved. He wouldn't just be a president sitting behind a desk. He would walk in classrooms. He'll go to the assemblies. He'll go to the strolling, the probates. He'll go to everything where you think a president, like, dang, I didn't know you would chill with us like that. So with that, and also, with Lecrae, I've watched his career. I met him, I don't know how old he is now. I think I met him in his early 20s or his mid 20s. He's like 30 something now. And he was, if you listen to his early albums, it was a lot of Jesus, 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 Jesus. And he could attest to that too. He said in one of his songs, but he learned that he's not going to be able to reach so many people by you know, he wasn't never beating people over the head, but having the same message through every single song, you know, he wasn't going to reach as many people that, you know, he aspires to reach. So I'm learning that early. I'm like, I'm not going to wait until I do 5 albums to increase my audience. So one thing I don't like to do is say, you know, I'm a Christian hip hop artist. So I'm a hip hop artist who happens to be Christian. If you ask me, do I love Jesus Christ? Yes, I do, unashamed. My music would do nothing but lead people closer to him. It would never bring them further away. So I think I'm content with that. If people, you know, have anything to say, oh, you denouncing Jesus, no, I'm not. Come look at my life. You know what I'm saying? Come look at you ask my coworkers, you know, you can see how I'm living, you know, and I think that's the most important. So that's why.
It's a phase that you go into as any religion is a phase that you're in where it's new to you and you have accepted it and you've applied it to your life and you're actually living it. So you become what we all know to be is that fanatic that calls you up and wants to deliver you just because. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the phase that you're in because it's something new on you. It's something new in you. So you want to say it as much and as in every way and facet of your life, but you learn that it can be a weapon towards people that you're supposed to be healing.
Exactly.
So I'm using this against you and I'm condemning you opposed to welcoming you in.
Right.
And it's not one of my favorite artists, and she hasn't had a perfect life, is Fantasia. And I've noticed from the very beginning the foundation that she had, and she didn't always walk in that foundation. But she's learning now. They just asked her to do a Christian song on a morning show, on a really big morning show. They let her do her music. And the fact that she feels now comfortable doing it, and not just in a concert setting, but on national TV, international TV, actually. And it really says something about where that person is when they're not uncomfortable. But you can't beat people over the head because the people who you're reaching are the people that would have gotten it anyway.
Right.
But the people who you really want to help, you people who you're supposed to be helping, they're turned off by that because that's why they don't come to church, because it's being used as a punishment.
Yes.
And not as, you know, a healing tool as it is.
Now don't get me.
That's any religion, right? Really.
Now don't get me wrong. You know, I mean, God's word by itself is gonna cut deep. Right. And with that being said, you know, like we was talking, and you know, like we said earlier, you know, people's perception are gonna go all in different ways anyway. Right. You know, so it's like, you know, I let God's word speak through what I do, because everybody, you know, I have a song called Confused. That's just going straight in. You know, that is the gospel kind of wrapped up in 2 verses. I tried to, you know, I probably did a terrible job at it. But, you know, that is the gospel wrapped up, you know, Jesus dying on the cross or whatever. And I spit it. And I have people coming up to me that, you know, don't know the Lord, that's not saved, saying they like the song. And then I have, you know, I had a Christian pastor that wanted me to do something for a children's home, which I was willing to do. And he was like, I can't perform that song because it's condemning. So it's like, now you have 2 totally opposite, different perspectives from the 2 different people you never thought of. You see what I'm saying? So, and I think that's why I agree with you on that, you know, kind of just doing whatever the Lord calls me to do, you know? So
following your instincts.
Yeah, follow my instincts and being led is the best thing. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. When I'm doing music now, I just want to be able to relate to people, because I think one thing that J. Cole does well, he relates to people, and then they listen to whatever song he could put out. It could be about bubblegum, but his name is on it, and they know when they see J. Cole, it's going to be something relatable, or if not, it's going to be something of quality. So, and that's kind of what I want to do, like on a just on a general scheme. It's just like, oh, Lamar Reddick, oh man, I know every time he raps, it's something good in the bucket. You know, it's something good in the pie. It's something good in the bucket. Whether I'm you know, is it going to directly connect with me? Maybe not. But I know that I can expect something good. And when I draw those people in from all different walks of life, then when they hear these interviews, they can hear what I stand from and who I serve. I serve Jesus Christ.
So let us know real quick where we can find you at. Speaking of knowing who you are, where we can find you at on social media. Where can we find your music?
Okay.
How can people get in contact with you?
All right. Definitely, if you want to look me up on Instagram, it's Lamar_Reddick, LAMAR_Reddick, like the movie, RIDDICK. And then also, if you want to find me on Facebook, my artist page is Lamar Reddick Music, sorry. And then also, if you want to listen to my music, I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes. I have my own website, www.lamarreddick.com. It'll bring you to the Pristine Records website. YouTube channel, Lamar Reddick On Fire album. You can type it in. If you don't have any money support, that's fine, but I want you to hear the music anyway. Go to YouTube. And you can also go to CD Baby, Amazon MP3, Google Play Music. So that's how you can reach me. If you want to book me, if you want to have me come out to a school, a church, a club, it doesn't matter. Wherever there's a microphone and there's an audience, I can be there. LamarReddick.booking@gmail.com. And that's all me right there. So
So I normally throw people under the bus, talent-wise. Are you prepared to give us a taste of who you are?
Okay, yeah.
So, whenever you're ready.
All right. So
you never know when it's gonna come.
Yeah, I know. I know how that is anyway. Let me see which one I want to do. I have a lot of stuff in my head. Okay. I must confess, I need humility in order to be in proximity to the King's entity. I pray he delivers me from my iniquities. I left the right, so please recenter me. It's the enemy versus the enemy. Who would the winner be? So here's my soliloquy. I could care less if you really feeling me. Feel so low, but I know it's healing me. But I get so hot when I turn around and I see my past grilling me. Am I a coward or just a flower? The only difference is through dirt and rain is the one who gets devoured. So please don't give in to your vices. When you take Christ out of crisis, don't be mad when we get stuck with ISIS. My temples are throbbing from all of these bombers, so I will pay homage to those who are sobbing. They're taking the lives of the innocent ones. Oh, they some goblins, but I know we're gonna stop it. Keep quiet and watch it. Look at the clock, it's talking. He has a plan that's greater than all of our logic. But there's one thing, when his wrath falls down on us, no one will be able to stop it. Hey man, hold up. They didn't know the cross he had to hold up. Death on his feet and the remedy on his back, like a backpack, and our sins on his shoulders. Christ on the world, he's bigger than no mama die like a summer universe full of drama. Came back no karma to get peace to the people like the Dalai Lama. What you mean you don't believe in Jehovah? Where you come from? An explosion? Some eruption, some monkey abduction, and you just showed up. I ain't turning nothing down, I'ma turn up. Switch lines, answer your call, stop hanging the phone up. Hold on, what is just not making the confessions of what you throw up? Let's go, bruh. See, they really want to meet him, but we really got to teach them, and they really want to know him, but we really got to show them where they going with the head, and they don't know about the blood and the shedding. And the words of KB, I hit them with that lyrical, biblical, spiritual, never the physical of the individual, so the visible practicing ritual instead of invincible. They call them, I got invisible, that's so typical. Trying to tell me about profits, making profits, putting it in their pockets, stop it. Repeating history is not a mystery. That the ones opposition to Christ are held down by misery. Check the Sunday altar where repentance be. I would say with no hesitance, Christ is evident with evidence. He's been here passing the presidents. You say we worship a dead God, but y'all worship their presidents. No kind of get your muscle tense. We're made to serve like condiments, not our personal accomplishments. See Isaac, Darwin, and your boy Einstein ain't got nothing on the production of the Divine Nine. CHRISTIAN. That's what it is. I rep Christ to the end. Am I perfect? No, I'm worthless. Matter of fact, I'm at the bottom of the surface, but he's clean. I'm dirty. His blood is my detergent. It's urgent.
Okay. He good.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I really I like to subtract any type of music, any type of production, and I like to hear the person. And a lot of times people are not comfortable doing that. But that sounded very comfortable to me. How much do you practice with that?
Well, I did say I was a perfectionist, right? So I always try to practice. I mean, everywhere there's some type of speaker around. When I'm in the shower, I got instrumentals playing. When I'm in the car on the way to work, I got instrumentals. Usually it's stuff that I'm working on. Right. When I get informed about maybe, a show or interview or something like that, I'll kind of go through my mind and kind of just circulate stuff that I know off rip. But anytime my day off, I'm always writing. So especially in this season where I'm at now, it's more of the creating rather than the rehearsing my already, previous done stuff. But I'm always working. I'm always trying to work on something. Somebody told me that I was slacking on that in college because I was in marching band. And that was pretty much my life. So I didn't have a lot of time to really hone in and practice.
And that's what I mean by a selfish season. And season is changing now. It's not really this big vast moment. But sometimes we put ourselves in other people's desires and dreams and goals and aspirations. And it's something that you like to do. But when you're in your zone, when you're in your mindset, it's that, and maybe I need to find another word other than selfishness, but it's self necessary. Create a word, but it's really necessary in honing who you are and turning that dial and getting you to that level of you'll never be perfect, but you'll be as close to it as possible.
Yeah.
I see a lot of preparation in what you just delivered. That's awesome to me, because you'll get individuals that is they hear the similarity in what is hip hop.
Yeah.
But you'll get them with the message, because then they'll have to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know, part of rappers who begin to rap as rapidly and they sped up the utterance is because they wanted people to pay attention to what they were saying. So that made people focus in instead of just vibing out and just hearing the melody of what you're doing. But it made people focus in on the words. And like in this moment, I was listening to the words.
Right.
It's a different type of storytelling.
Yeah.
So ultimately, where do you want to go with this talent?
As far as I can. That's one thing I don't have limitations on. I want to go as far as I can, across the world, whatever. I'm just really hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't choose where the food gonna come from. I can't say, whether I, if I'm poor on the street saying, where do I see myself eating? Anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come in with a burger in their hand, I'm eating that. Somebody want to invite me to the fanciest restaurant and
so eager. That eagerness is something that you hold on to it. If I can give you any advice in this moment, hold on to that eagerness and conserve some of it, put it away. Because sometimes this artist life will throw you for a loop, and you'll want to walk away from it. And because it's attached to your walk in life, your ministry, you'll find yourself torn and ready to just let stuff go, because things aren't happening for you. You're getting the no's become real specific and detailed as to why not. And keep that eagerness, keep hold of that. And you can't do that every moment of the day. That's why I said conserve some of it, remember some of it. And as you get a little bit older, you'll realize, okay, I need to pull from that reserve in this moment, because you'll be ready. It's been tons of moments. You know what? I'm gonna go be a manager at Popeyes.
I definitely just walked away for a long time. I'm out.
Right, and take it. Right, you walk away from it because you forget. We was about to lose one of our awesome performers, Toni Braxton, because she lost the passion. The talent didn't go anywhere, but the passion behind it, and trying to keep up with what is going on and stay current. She lost herself in that drive for it. That never lose your drive, never lose the energy for it. You will, but just reserve that you have over on the side. That wife that will remind you, we got to eat tomorrow, so get on it. Having those type of individuals around you that will keep you focused on what your goals are, not paying bills, not making other people happy, not entertaining people, but keeping yourself whole and wholehearted. We're going to be right back on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Mr. Lamar, talented Reddick, when we come back.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
Well, you have a lot of people retiring early. It's funny, a lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Brickashaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that
that changed on their own now because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
Right,
stuff
the
that's been
concussion
happening.
movement.
Is not the noun, is the effects later, because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and some are committing suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
Not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys have played that whole entire game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run to the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitudes I had.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything. Right. And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew, you got to be in the bed by this time. You do it for years and years, and all of a sudden, bam, it's done. So what do you do?
Right.
So just like in a military that have with PTSD. We similar have that because we so used to having a certain way. And I remember watching this Brian Gumbel on HBO, it was like years ago, and a guy would act like he was getting dressed, a real good football player, would walk his daughter to the bus stop, and he would come back in the house, close the curtains, and just sit there because he didn't know how else to handle himself. Because he was so used to being told what to do because our schedule are laid out. By this time, you got to do this. By this time, you got to do this. Eat at this time, back on the field. So,
hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live, here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom.
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game.
Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Joining us today, we have in the building Mr. Lamar Reddick.
Hey.
He's a hip-hop artist, a very talented young man, very positive young man. So I'm going to ask you one time, any social media that you want to throw out there so people can find you and research you or contact you?
Yes. Spelling of the name, Lamar, Reddick, Riddick, like the movie, Lamar, like Kendrick or Odom. Don't call me Kendrick though.
Not Odom either.
But but Lamar _ Reddick at Instagram. Please follow me. And also artist page on Facebook at Lamar Reddick Music. You can go on Spotify, you can go on YouTube, you can go on iTunes, Google Play Music, Amazon MP3 Music. Just type in Lamar Reddick. Everything will be available there. CD Baby as well. And if you're looking for me on Twitter, it's at Lamar Reddick. No spaces, all lowercase. And hopefully I can talk to y'all soon. Booking, last thing, lamarreddick.booking@gmail.com. All right.
So the last question that I normally ask to all the guests that come on, and we just was laughing at this, but what did you say to your 17-year-old self at this point in your life, at 23?
I would definitely say study for the ACT harder. I did well. But I was taking AP classes and we had the finals for AP at the same time as the ACT and the SAT. So it's kind of a split choice. I passed all my AP test. But I would definitely say that. Also, I would give a heads up to isolation. Embrace isolation. Use that time to turn it into your bat cave. To really work and use the time you have. My Uncle George Moss, he told me this when I was younger. I didn't get it then, but he was like, use all the time you have, because one day you're going to want that time and you're not going to be able to have it. So just execute on any time that you have. Push in the times that you really think you don't have anything left, but you really do, and it's really laziness that's holding you back and not really will. And also try to go out for section leader at Bethune-Cookman your junior year, because you found out when you graduated a lot of people wanted you to do it. But and take piano classes that really expands your music, and witness to everybody that you can. Don't ever be afraid. Don't ever bite your tongue, to share the gospel of Jesus, no matter what they think about you. And always continue to communicate with your parents. They have a lot of wisdom, even though it may be hard to hear, but listen to them and hold on, because your wife is on the way. There's a lot of impatient decisions made between that time, just trying to find a wife and stuff. But definitely, those are to be the key things that I would say.
And lastly, 3 words that define Lamar Reddick.
3 words. Passionate, talented, Christian.
There we go.
Yes.
That has been Lamar Reddick here live on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. If you came in late or you missed any portion of this, definitely go to our YouTube page and look up BeExposedRadio.com, and the Artist Exchange show will pop up. Or you can go straight to our website at www.beexposedradio.com and check it out, the entire show with Mr. Lamar Reddick. I'll be posting his information on our page, as well as in the Artist Exchange group. It's a great group that you could put your work in and share your material and your artistry and your work in. And there are people in that group from all over, in all aspects of the arts and entertainment field. So feel free to post your work in there, Lamar. And if you are not Lamar, you can also post your work in there, artist-related work in that group. And we'll be posting more work from Lamar, playing some of his music, as well as some upcoming dates that we have. So if you are looking for a Lamar Reddick to produce or to fill up your roster, hit him up. Give him your blessings, and definitely look out for him. He's very talented, and hear your music and then hear you perform live. It's not that much different, but I can clearly see where your passion lies. So many kudos to you. Thank you for coming up here today. Excuse these sinuses draining me in this moment. Also, don't forget, next weekend, Be Exposed Radio's open house here live, September the 17th, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., 110 East Lexington Street. We open up our doors to the public to come on in and promote yourself, network with other artists. This specific open house is geared towards media and the media industry. So we'll have a lot of other radio shows, a lot of radio stations, other media professionals, bloggers, so on and so forth that we have invited to come on and partake in our open house. So this would be an awesome incentive for you to come back and meet other radio personalities, people that could push you marketing and branding wise. And if you would like to come on out, definitely come. There's no fee attached to it, and you get to come back on air and promote what you do live. We also have portions of it that's kind of open mic, where we out in the lobby, we perform a little bit. We've had some ciphers coming up, and Lamar would definitely add another layer to that
Yeah.
cipher. So we welcome you to come back on up here. It's next Saturday the 17th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm here live at the station. So come on down 110 East Lexington Street. It's the third Saturday of every month. We open up the doors for the public to come in and see what we do here. We want people not to be afraid of radio. It's not a big mysterious thing anymore. It's what people use as a tool. So definitely come on out. Vibe with us, connect with us, network with us, and create some connections. I'm all
Yes.
about it being engaging. As an artist, I need to know where my money is going. So I want to be able to talk to you, be able to, see you and speak with you and learn who you are and what you do. So my money and time and energy that I'm invested is going somewhere positive. So I wish you all the best, Lamar.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for coming on up here and traveling. Thank you to your lovely wife for joining us. I keep her on your team. That's a good business person. She kept me in line, due dates and everything. I love that. So this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Again, we'll be back next Friday, 7 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. This has been Nathan, your host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Peace out. Thank you.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's